Welcome, everybody, to the Real Time Wisdom Show with Joanna and Lainey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. January 17th, an auspicious Martin Luther King Day. Joanna and Miss Denise Flood, who's here with us tonight.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Time Wisdom Show. I just love Denise Flood, and she is here to bring us her guidance and wisdom to help us shift the energy of whatever it is that is coming up for us. And Denise, I just can't wait to hear everything that you have to share with us.
I'm ready. This is exciting.
Well, it's a
I
perfect
love this
day
show. I'm so glad you guys are back on the air.
I'm wondering if it's me or if everyone's here. Can we hear Denise's volume okay? I just wondered if it was my computer or not. Maybe Tony's here. Let's just see if she hears it.
Hi, Tony.
Oh, I think it was me.
Yeah, might be
Denise is here. And for those of you who don't know Denise Flood, let's give you a little bit of a background. How much time, how long is our show?
Not long enough to tell about this wonderful woman here.
Yeah. Denise has been around with our cherries community since the beginning, well before the Food Healing Oracle deck even existed. Right. And she's been quite an extraordinary human being with all of her healing work, from tapping to, oh my God, the list goes on and on. But I had the chance to really get to know her when she dove deep into her spiritual recording. To me, it's like a ministry, but doing all these incredible meditations, not only on all the Gulf Coast meditation albums that our record label produced, but also her full-length album, which is part of a series called The Keys, Meditations and Messages for Life's Most Challenging Times, that was conceived well before the pandemic even started, all the way up until 2 weeks ago, where she released her third Food Healing Oracle deck meditation called Mindfulness, which is part of our Black Sesame Seeds. And she continues to deepen in her practice in what she shares to others. So tonight is a gift because she'll be sharing it with all of you, all that she has amassed in her own personal journey. And we're so excited. So welcome, Denise. For those who haven't met you, they get to experience a little bit of what we all know and have come to love.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm hoping this is recorded so I can clip that part and put it up on my mirror.
Tony said that she can hear. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we were.
Thanks,
I think
Tony.
Well, being that it's Martin Luther King Day, a day that everyone has presenced this great human being, who I think was the epitome of mindfulness for everyone, and what mindfulness is. But maybe I thought that we can start with just sharing, Joanna and then Denise, what this word is, because there's magazines. Time Magazine talks it. There's now mindfulness magazines. But I still feel like people may not know, even when it comes up in a Food Healing Oracle deck reading, exactly what Spirit's trying to say. Like when you get the knock of mindfulness, let's start with Joanna and then Denise, take it away from there. What is this topic of mindfulness? Because this is why we're here, not only to, oh, did we lose Denise?
I hope not.
Yeah, hopefully she'll come back.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we start with you, Joanna? And then hopefully by then Denise will come back.
Yeah. Mindfulness to me is pure presence, being present to not only yourself, which a lot of us unfortunately are not present to what is happening within our own being, but being mindful of all of the energies and all of the experiences that is around us, just that pure presence. Do you ever have the experience of like walking in, a forest or the woods or someplace out in nature, and you just stop for a minute and hear the birds and the trees rustling and feel the breeze on your skin, and all of the senses come alive, and you're paying very close attention That to me is mindfulness. You can get it through a meditation, in meditation. You can get it out in nature, or anytime you decide to stop and just do some real sacred listening to your own beating heart, to what is going on around you. I feel like it's an important part of the day to pause many times and just see, where are my thoughts? What is my body feeling? Right? What am I sensing around me? That to me is mindfulness.
Beautiful. All right, Denise, fill in the gaps if there are any.
She's frozen.
Oh, she is frozen.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Okay, there she goes.
I think there is, I can't hear her. Can you hear her?
No, I can't hear her. Denise, can you hear us?
She may need to come back out,
Reboot.
come out and come back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's going on there.
Well, what about you, Lainey? What do you consider to be mindfulness?
Well, mindfulness is, to me, equated to self-care. And I feel that so much of the strife and the struggles happen in the world when we are not being mindful of our own self, our own sovereignty, our own divinity, our own limits, our own boundaries. And if we're not mindful to what's happening within ourselves, in our connection or our disconnection, then that's where things start to get more challenging. Things become more, we're more affected by other people's thoughts and actions. We take things the wrong way. We read a text differently. And it's the reminder, when you start to see the signs of things around us amplify, is like, well, let me take a minute here, because I'm starting to attract a lot of stuff around me that doesn't feel very good. And so I'm going to just be more mindful of my energy for a minute, because I want to attract things that I like. I want to attract good and happy and positive. So that's sort of, for me, a self-care exercise in mindfulness. And easier said than done. There's no question, because we all have the boat rocked, but I'm seemingly been holding a container more and more as I build strength in that regard. And I'm doing more meditations, and Denise's meditations are some of them. Are you back, Denise?
It looks like she's back. Can you hear us, Denise?
I think that there's a delay.
You hear me?
Barely. I think there's a delay.
Can't hear me.
I think that there's a delay, Denise.
Well, it will keep me mindful.
Is there a way that you can try it on a hotspot or a different internet connection?
Yeah, let me give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay, great. Great. Hi, Christine.
Christine is here. So to me, all those, and it's funny, and I didn't just say all that because of our prior conversation. That's just what showed up to say. But I'm feeling that with Mercury being in retrograde, and people immediately, I actually have, I think, and I don't know if you have experienced this too, that when people hear Mercury in retrograde, they're already putting up the expectation that something's going to go wrong, that miscommunication is going to misfire, that things are already set up for failure, that they already are in that, they're already attracting that energy.
Right.
And so I'm more mindful of like, la, 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 la. Like, I don't want to buy into that. Of course, I understand planets, and I'm not the astrology maven you are, but I also think the power of suggestion and the power of our mindset is really, really strong. And so I take mindfulness really seriously and hold a vibration of like, well, this is my reality. Just like you say, I'm not going to attract that to me. So mindfulness, I think, is essential. And especially when it's coming up in a card, it's definitely a knock on the door from spirit saying, I want to get your attention to like come back to center.
Right, right. Just a tiny little bit about, if you frame Mercury retrograde in a negative way, then of course you're going to notice the negative things that happen. But Mercury retrograde is actually the planet's method that is of benefit to us, because we get to review, we get to pause and reevaluate, we get to remember, and we get to, so instead of saying, oh my God, it is Mercury retrograde, we can notice the things that are happening at that time and pay attention and be mindful of them. But we can also frame it in a way, wait a minute, this is a time for me maybe to think a little harder, review the contracts, make sure all my connections of communication are in a good way, and so it is a way to frame it. But like you, Lainey, I think that mindfulness as a self-care practice is very, very, very important, to be aware of self. Now she's here.
I am hoping you can all hear me.
Good.
Well, actually, right on time, because we both shared our aspects to what mindfulness is and to how we feel. And whatever we said, you can catch on the replay. But I want to just share, since you're here, what mindfulness is to you, because we have a deck of 60 cards. And of course, you've already done 2 out of the 60 meditations, but what happened in the moment, or why that you chose mindfulness? And tell us more about the value of mindfulness for you, and for like how you're seeing it in your life and with your practice.
Mindfulness just called out to me. There was something not only in the word, but in the image of that card, that just that ancientness, that third eye, that it just brought me back to, you are right there in the moment, and how to continually bring yourself back. Oh, I'm sure you all know, and probably many in our audience know that book. I think I discovered it back in the 80s, Chop Wood, Carry Water. Yes, that image, it says to me about the innate wisdom that we all have to stay in the moment. And that sacred cup of holding that represented that to me, and how we sometimes need to spoon feed ourselves in doing the right thing and constantly bringing ourselves back to catching ourselves before the words come out of our mouth if we have something to say, because mindfulness is also a resonance, and our voice is a resonance. It's that acoustic vibration we're putting out into the world. And if we're mindful not only of what's going on internally, but of how we transfer that out into the world, then that's where we are changing not only our lives, but the lives of every single being on the planet. And we ping off each other. You all, our cherry community, reminds me daily of how incredibly blessed we are to be all working together, to have these kind of things, like that you were blessed to bring the Food Healing Oracle deck into creation and share it vocally around the world, that we need to nourish ourselves, and how big a part of nourishment is food. And if we're feeding ourselves well and consciously, we're also feeding those cells that feed our brain, that is going to make our thoughts mindful and our actions mindful. And da-da-da-da.
Well, amen to that. And I have to say, you presenced for me how extraordinary this past weekend's class was, with such a wonderful group from coast to coast gathered for our tarot class.
Yeah.
And for those of you who missed it, I'm sorry you missed it, because we pretty much did it for free. It was $10. And we gathered this group hosted by the Albuquerque Tarot Tribe, and we brought forward wisdom, and these were expert tarot experts on there. And for them to have those incredible light bulb moments of how the hero's journey, the major arcana, the food healing orca deck pairings, all were connecting these elements together, opened up like how mindful we have to be with how we feed our temple. And by the way, speaking of mindful, I don't know if you can see what I'm wearing, but my mindful, soon to be sweet 16 on Valentine's Day daughter came to me last night and she says, Mom, I have a gift for you. And it's a pomegranate pearl.
Oh my
And I started
God.
crying, and she's like, I'm like, oh my God. So for those of you who follow the Food Healing Oracle deck,
Yes.
Spirit.
And
like how mindful to like put, teenager, like I wanted you to have spirit with you at all times.
Wow.
I'm like, spirit's with me at all times, but this is really presencing it. So I have a little pomegranate pearl.
I love that. How sweet Heather is. She is so sweet. Oh my goodness.
Valentine's birthday. She is cherub love energy. I mean, I'm telling you all the way.
Yeah. That's amazing. What you had said, Denise, just really struck a chord with me as well. And that's why, we love you and think you're so wonderful. Because just the way, if you guys have a chance, it's $1.99. That's it. Denise Flood's mindfulness meditation will transport you. It's just transports you and makes you so aware. That meditation, I mean, it is definitely one of my top faves. Now I listen to it, and just what you said is just so you're so heart-centered, you're just so heart-centered, and it comes through in everything that you do.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So you started to say, I'm sorry, I thought I had this off. You started to say that just peeked out at you.
Mm-hmm.
But do you find that with that particular one, it had a special resonance in terms of like this time period? Because granted, we had talked about doing a meditation some time back, but we were at the mercy of our incredible music producer and his incredibly busy, thriving schedule these days.
Yeah.
And for it to come out at the beginning of this year is like, wow, this is the time to buck up, to really step into like where the rubber meets the road, where we're going to practice these tools we talk about. Not just like go, oh, okay, it'd be great. But now like, let's put these things into tomatoes, right? Put them into action.
I have to say that card jumped out at me. And then all of a sudden I started seeing mindfulness being mentioned everywhere. And I think that's the synchronicity of it. And I think if these last 2 years have taught us things, one of them for me is absolutely being aware that my inner dialogue matches my outer dialogue, and my inner actions match my outer actions. Because if we want to stay in wellness and really build the global community of wellness, of cherries, we have to be conscious, super conscious, mindful all the time, because we see how quickly energy spreads. And I look at it as it's part of my sacred trust that put me here on earth, that I help build that wellness, that I help counteract the negativity that we might see. I have a cup, and I didn't bring it in with me, but if you ever see, I have been doing a 5-minute mindfulness every day on Facebook Live, and I have a cup that has the globe on it. And we all know Dr. Emoto and how our intentions are so powerful. And every day I infuse that water and I look at that globe and I think, I know somebody on every continent. I'm sending you love. You know, and I feel it bounce back to me because that's how powerful we all are. And I also try to, just like we look at the cards and we're mindful when we're looking at that card, when I really sit and I meditate on some of the Food Healing Oracle deck cards, those images, when we consciously look at them, they spark things in our brain that help us stay mindful when we put it in our body. Just like I make sure that what color earrings do I have on? Blue, because I knew I was going to be talking today. So I want my energy, my throat to be open and clear. And I have a magnitude on, not only for the great circulation and the diffusing yumminess, but it's a tree of life. So it's grounded, yet that tree's branches go up. So we can teach ourselves to take the tiniest moment and whoop, oh, woo, okay, I'm back here. That post I just read or that person I just talked to, I love you. I don't agree. Go on your way. Peace be with you.
Absolutely.
I think the oils are a great way to use to bring yourself back to center. Whenever you smell any oil, that scent, you know, if you do it, as you said, with consciousness, if you're conscious about why you're wearing a thing or why you're attracted to wearing a certain color, or if you do it on purpose, because oftentimes when I teach, I wear blue because of the throat chakra. But I also make sure that I have some peppermint oil to keep my mind stimulated, or maybe some rosemary to help me remember every detail of what I'm going to teach. So the oils that you offer us too are a good practice to be mindful. If nothing else, you know, smelling them, it brings you back to your senses, right? And when you're back to your senses, you're back to yourself.
I love that. Sense and senses.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could create a meme out of that.
I bet you could.
Tony wrote, all Denise's meditations are fabulous. I love each one. I have to say that too. I remember way back when we were sitting at that, having lunch in Naples, and I said, I have this idea for this album series. And it was well before we even had the idea that the world was going to change in terms of anything that has been the last 2 years. But I remember we were all working on our Gulf Coast meditations, each one of us here. And I just said, you know, it's easier said than done to preach joy, love, happiness, prosperity. But what if someone's in such a wounded state that they're not able to even see the forest through the trees to even get to being able to take in a meditation? We need to maybe help them bridge the gap between that. And what if we provided some of those medicines, music medicines, meditations, along with the cards too? And that's where the idea for the keys to unlock the door to the key series, which was meditations and messages for life's most challenging times. And boy, Denise just stepped right up. She got it. Boom, boom, boom. And highly recommend that album, entirely full-length album that Denise put together. And now, you know, you are, you know, kind of an international, well, you are an international spiritual recording artist. So it's really amazing. And my question, at least to pose to the listeners, whether they're listening tonight and a lot listen later, is do you find that meditations and you do tapping and you're an expert, you are the expert as far as I'm concerned with essential oils, and the cards, do you interweave everything all the time? I mean, is it, you have a whole toolkit, but you finding that in these days, everyone needs a little bit of everything to reach that way of bridging them from level A, level 0 to level 10.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely agree with that statement. And what I love, I have a lot of things in my toolbox, But the thing I love is that and as hard as it is to believe, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, go figure.
Oh, I
I
can't
have a community where I can say, you know, this is what I feel like you need, and this is the person I think you might be a better match for. And so my program, Change Your Frequency, Change Your Life, it does. It incorporates meditation and breathing and all of the things we all, Reiki and healing light touch and did I say meditation? I think I did. Tapping, which I as a tapping facilitator, again, there's that whole mindfulness, because simply this is what I call my emergency tapping place. Because when you're right here in the center of your chest, like right over your breastbone, you're not only covering your thymus and tapping on that, which helps stimulate your immune system, but you're covering every major meridian of the body. And so your body automatically knows it can calm down. It can leave that fight or flight. It can relax a little bit to let in the little bit of, all you need is that little crack of light or hope in your brain or in your body to allow that healing to begin.
Beautiful. Can we demonstrate that? Can we do a little 5-minute tapping just for people to experience
Absolutely.
that?
What I thought I would ask, and it's up to you guys, if you would like to pull a card, say perhaps for the energy of the group, of something that would be of highest holy order to tap on tonight, I would be so thrilled to be able to, because it will be my energy too.
I love that. So maybe Joanna pulls a card, we tap on that, and then I'll pull one. And so we'll do 2 group tappings on 2 different cards from the deck.
Absolutely. I'd love it.
Ooh, okay, good. Oh, good. Ooh, Sabrina's here. Hi, Sabrina. Okay, good. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, let's just get this show on the road. Well, why don't you put that up a little closer and explain what you just pulled in case they didn't see it.
So I pulled the avocado card. The avocado card is our healing card. And as you can see, there's an avocado, there's lots of avocados, but the one avocado that is cut open, we get to see that beautiful seed. And the seed has to be planted in us to be able to start healing. First of all, we have to recognize that something needs to be healed, right? And once we recognize that something needs to be healed, we continue to get out all of the fleshy, gorgeous, meat of that avocado and start working our way towards healing, and the avocado is a perfect card for that. And Denise, I cannot wait to see what you tap on that.
I'm excited. I don't know if everybody has a little sip of water, but I always do recommend before we start tapping to take a sip of water or whatever you have to drink. If not, when we're done, don't worry about it. You can either watch later and do it again or just run and get water afterwards. But
I love how she says water. Water.
Water.
Water.
Where are you from, Denise? Where are you from?
It's a multitude of New England states right on down to Florida.
Water.
I think that's from spending summers in Maine.
Okay,
cool. This is how Jersey people say it. We say
water. Could be too. Spent a lot of time there.
Water.
All right, so we're following Denise for healing.
Right. There's a whole tapping regime that but I'm going to, because it is a short span of time, just use our emergency tapping space. And please visit deniseflood.com. You can get your tapping video there. But for now, we'll just do this.
It doesn't matter which hand you use.
It does not. Okay. And I am of the opinion, again, that our bodies know our intention. And so there is no wrong way to do this, because we are in the space of asking our bodies to release, to heal, and asking that divine light and love to flow through us.
Okay.
So right now, everyone take that moment to think about what it is for them that they would truly love to have a healing. And with that said, we go.
Beautiful. Take a deep breath and gently tap. Even though I have this area of my life that needs healing, and bring that to mind, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And if my words don't resonate with you, please change it to your own words. This is your personal experience, and it is designed to work for you. So gently tapping, even though I have a need of healing in this area, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this need of healing in this area, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And take a moment to see where that might be, if it's in your body, in your emotions, in your spirit. For some, it may be a feeling or a sensation. For others, it may be a thought or a picture in your mind or a color. Whatever it is, know that it has come up at this time in this group so that we collectively can shine our lights in ourselves and on each other to bring healing, deep, lasting healing. Allow your body to adjust as needed. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Give yourself a moment again to check in. Even though I have a healing need, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I deeply and completely allow myself these moments to relax, to release, and to shine light onto this area. Take another breath. Check in again. Feel your body shifting and accepting that healing. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Allowing those gentle shifts to take place for your highest good in this moment. Breathing gently in and out. Allowing yourself to see your breath as light. Breathing in and allowing that light to shine in and through your lungs. Seeing that light shine in and through your blood. Feel your heart fill with light. Feel it pulse outwards. Filling your mental body. Feel your light pulse outwards, filling your emotional body. Feel your light pulse outwards, filling your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. Allow it to flow freely through you. Allow it to flow right down through your feet, tapping gently on your chest, allowing yourself to turn up or down the energy flowing through you so that it is gentle, comforting, tapping gently. See that energy flow in and through you, integrating your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual bodies so that they are in alignment with your highest holy good in this moment, in this dimension, and in all dimensions going forward. And so it is.
Oh, I'm just filled. That was so beautiful. I have tears in my eyes. So beautiful.
I think I just tripped the light fantastic to some ultra dimension. I'm not sure even where I went, but thank you, Denise. I would love
Thank
to
you.
see what people thought of that when they come back into center, but definitely take a sip of water to ground yourself, coming back to wherever you went. And if you want to share, I know we don't have, at least in the comments, anything that you'd like to share. Denise, that was amazing.
Very, very.
And
Tony says, wow, thank you.
yeah, that was beautiful. Well, I'm humbled because there was so much going on before, and you could feel the energy now. Just, I mean, to be able to bask in this beautiful space is a gift that people, in fact, everyone feel the stillness of what has just been created as a collective. And whenever you're having a moment that doesn't feel like this, grab this as your reference point, like bottle this up. Like, what does it feel like to be feeling a sense of community, sense of love, sense of trust, sense of mindfulness? Because that's what this is right now. That's why we had so many people write us and say, bring the show back, because each week we provide a new way. It's not just the cards, it's all these ways to bring us back to this feeling.
Yeah.
So Penny wrote, Compassionate, wise love, marvelously calming. Thank you, Denise. Agreed.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Well, we're going to fill you in on a little secret, thanks to Denise. For those of you who are watching here live, you're all going to be gifted her newest mindfulness meditation, because now you have a taste of what Denise is all about.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to give you a code. In fact, I'm going to put it in here now. Not that you need to go leave. We still have a little bit more time, but in case, and this is really only through midnight tonight, so you'd have to use this. But here's the code, and if you go to our website, which is hopefully you've all been there, foodhealingdeck.com, and you put in the word mindful, it'll give you a credit. And if it specifically for Denise's meditation, and it's about 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes. In fact, all of our meditations are 5-6 minutes. So it'll expire at midnight. So download it today, and it's yours. And you'll see that there's other ones on there to enjoy. And in fact, speaking of, you said earlier, Denise, about getting it out to the world. I don't know if you noticed, but I had a brain drizzle in the middle of the night, the other night, of how everyone's using TikTok, and we've started to make our presence known. And it occurred to me, when you go to attach sound, instead of putting people's music, what if we put snippets of our own meditations behind some of these TikTok posts? And it was like, and so we've done 2, and we'll be doing.
They're awesome.
We'll do all of them, and then you can actually, people who are on TikTok, if you're listening, you can go and use our sound and make your own TikTok post. It doesn't have to be food healing related. It could just hear the words, and if it speaks to you. Mm-hmm. I saw people talking about abundance and they were walking around their house, because walking around their house and realizing what they manifested. But the more we got our snippets of all of our gifts, Tony's magic mushrooms, and Denise's many, and my many, and Joanna's many, in all of ours, and get those snippets of pure mindful wisdom out there. Let everyone in TikTok land hear that. So Denise's, yours will be getting up on there too, but if you hear it, they're 15 seconds, and it just says, use this sound. You get to use that as your sound for a TikTok post. And how brilliant is that? Like, get the good word out there. Get the vibe, get the high vibe energy going.
That's my partner in produce. You just said the name that I call her. Brilliant. Just brilliant.
It was a brain drizzle. It was like, I know everyone likes music, but what if we had our own meditations? Let it go, let it flow.
They're so good. They're so good. They're coming out.
So Denise, yours will be out there too for everyone to enjoy. And then if they want the full-length version, they can go spend the $1.99. They're worth many more zeros, the way I feel right now. I don't know about everybody else. So that's, I don't know if you've noticed, we've had that going. The other thing I wanted to mention in just a few minutes that happened this weekend at that tarot class is that there was a huge interest in having a certification in the land of enchantment. I don't know if people know that New Mexico, which is a very, very sacred state, blessed by the Indians on the land and all that good stuff. I lived there for 15 years. Want to have a certification there, a live reader certification. And we've had someone step up to host it in a private residence. So we now have already some have filled, but Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have 5 spots, like a real intimate in-person reader certification. If you ever want to dive deep into everything that we do, we're going to do a live one here as well in Florida in April. But now in May, at the end of May, we'll be doing one there. And New Mexico is such a beautiful state, and Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Taos. You can't, or ships. I mean, I can go on and on.
Excited.
So that's really exciting for people who may not want to come all the way to Florida, or who we also have our Zoom ones, but so much unfolded. And that's just exciting because that's one of Joanna's bucket lists, is to make it to Albuquerque, or to make it to New Mexico, right?
You want to New Mexico, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you been to New Mexico, Denise?
Only driven through it on the way to California.
Okay. Oh, well, that's where I'm from. See, we're hitting all the spots.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you'll have to go there sometime. It's quite amazing energetically.
Yes, I would love to, and on my bucket list too.
Yeah. Well, I thought if it's okay, just to wrap up, that we pulled one more card in honor of Martin Luther King Day, and to really just honor what this day was all about. I mean, obviously remembrance would be a great card to pull, but I had posted some things earlier about the power of almonds, right? Almonds is our power card, and power to the people. And it was cool on TikTok that actually played the John Lennon song Power to the People. But today was so nice because when you saw so many posts of so many quotes, and each quote was more powerful than the next. It was like really, like all day long, I was like, oh, he said that. And oh, he said that. I mean, he was a walking sage, that man. So I just thought I'd pull a card for a group collective energy on Martin Luther King Day, which is now Betty White Day too, right?
Yeah. It's your birthday.
Another icon who, changed the masses. But any other thoughts on that before I pulled the card?
No, I'm really curious to see what card's going to come up for that.
Okay, me too. Sabrina says Taos is magic. It's very, very, very magical there. Yeah, that's where all the Earthships are, the whole colony of people who got it right. Oh, I would love to live in an Earthship.
Wow.
All right.
No.
Sunshine. What do you make of this card, Denise? Because she's not just talented at tapping, she's very talented at reading the cards.
Yes, she is.
Well, given that it is an iconic day, that light is shining.
Yeah.
That light is shining through from the heavens. Those great spirits in the sky, people that have made such a difference in this world, they are constantly shining their light on us. And to receive that, I think, is such an incredible gift. That's kind of where I took that sunshine, and that is also that orange color, our creativity to take what they have built and take it to the next level.
Their light is so bright. Some of these people that have passed on, that it keeps shining forever. It just keeps shining. Their death does not diminish their light, which I think is just so incredibly beautiful, which is why almost every post that I read had a quote or a remembrance of this great, powerful man. And his words still live on because they were so powerful, because he was so connected consciously to his heart, to the earth, to the people. He was the epitome of mindfulness.
Which essentially this card wraps up, because when you look at it, as we say all the time, this is one orange. It's not a basket of oranges. And it goes back to us individually practicing mindfulness, starting with ourselves in our connection to the light. And that's what today has represented, both the honoring of Martin Luther King, Betty White, but also Denise being here, talking about mindfulness, that it starts within ourselves. And it says, we say it inside of our book, peace worldwide starts from inside. And so in order to have that peace, we need to be mindful of what gives us peace and let the rest go and build from there. So your light will continue to shine, and be juicy for all.
Right, baby. Juicy and sweet.
Juicy and sweet. So that's it. I feel complete. Is there any other announcements we have, or we're
well, this weekend we're going to be at StarCon.
Oh, yes.
And we will be vending there and meeting people all in the intuitive psychic tarot world. And
look at us, fancy.
Our presentation on Sunday, which can be seen on a Zoom platform or some hybrid platform.
No, it's not Zoom. It's
what is it?
Excel events or Axel events. But if you go to here, I'll put it in the chat here. It's starcon.com. And you can attend live in Florida or anywhere in the world virtually. And you can not only watch our presentation, but
all of them. Yes, we're among some real talented, real well-known people, and we are thrilled to be there. Toni Wengel will be there as our support, as she always is. We can always count on Toni to support us. So we'll have a booth with all of our products. We'll be giving away some things. We'll have the presentation, and it's just going to be fun.
Yeah. The Divination Power of Food. It'll be Sunday from 10:15 Eastern, 10:15 to 11:15, and talk about that, because as some of us know, especially with Food Healing Oracle deck and many other things, that food is another divination tool. And there's so many divination tools, but when you learn to see food, when you learn to see that, you will never look at your dinner plate the same way. Like, wow, I have a mystical story playing out right here before it goes inside.
That's right.
Yeah.
Be mindful about what's on your plate.
Yeah, and it gives you that moment, because so often we're starving, or if we're being mindful, to take that moment in presence, like the plate, the nourishment, the money to buy the food, the people who grew the food. Like, really think about the whole chain of everything that it took to get on your plate. Really, I mean, if you really took the time, like the people who grew it, the people who brought it to the stores, the people who delivered it to the stores, the people who put it on the shelves. I mean, when you really think what it took to get on your plate, unless you grew it and you know what it took to grow it yourself, there's a lot of mindfulness and reverence. And when you hold that and sustain that, the food tastes so much better. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
And then you give thanks. Yeah. Instead of just like, oh, cool, and eat. Like, we're here to teach consciousness in all that we do. And that's what Denise does. And that's what we do all as a collective, from our oil classes with Denise and the Food Healing Oracle deck, to your tapping, to all your meditations. Everything that you do, everything that we do is here to do that, is to wake up consciousness. And this is the time to do it.
Love that. Thank you so much, Denise, for being here with us.
It is an honor for me. I always feel blessed and am so grateful for you, that you all are in my life, and that we have a community that is supportive of one another, and we use our voices to raise each other up. I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for gifting everybody a copy of your meditation tonight. And please, if you can email us or post on our Facebook page or on our Real-Time Wisdom or on Instagram or TikTok, let us know how you liked her meditation, and let her know. And we'd really love to have that engagement with all of you. And follow us on TikTok and Instagram and wherever you can. And we will be back next Monday. We'll be back Monday because the show's.
Oh yeah, we'll be back Monday and we'll tell you all about the weekend.
Yes.
We love having this show back again because it gives us an opportunity to gather more cherries. So tell your friends about us. We want to build a family around us that we can all together be teaching and sharing with people about the consciousness of food and what the messages their food has to tell them. So just continue to join us on the Real Time Wisdom Show on Mondays.
So, yeah, you're right. Next Monday is the StarCon recap.
I love that. Love that.
Thanks, Denise. Much love. And thank you to everyone for being here and for your support, and blessings to you. And I know you're going to love her mindfulness meditation. So namaste.
Yes.
Good night, everybody. Mwah.